So, ladies and gentlemen, I am back from vacation. That means it's time for work, and that means it's time to bring on the master of Nakshatra. So today I have Dr. Arjun back again, talking about the Ashwani Nakshatra, and pretty much is going to be telling us things that, you probably have not heard of, or you may have heard of, but it'll be in-depth study of Nakshatras. So how you doing, man?
Hey, fantastic, Kapiel. Good to see you. Smiling, energetic, rejuvenated. That is Ashwini Nakshatra for you.
There you go.
Yeah, and I can also see your the red color, the blood red color shirt that you're wearing.
There you go.
That's again the color of Ashwini.
Oh, really?
So blood red is the color of Ashwini Nakshatra. So you can see that you are rejuvenated. You are ready to run. You're like the horse.
Yeah.
So this is what. Let me speak about Ashwini Nakshatra today. But before we get there, there are certain misinterpretations that people have had about, I wouldn't say these are misinterpretations. It's just that people, how they have interpreted, Ashwini Nakshatra. Although you go and read about Ashwini Nakshatra, the common themes that you get is Ashwini Kumars, the celestial healers, the physicians. That's all correct. That's right. But there is also a background that you have to know whenever you want to go and study Jyotish. So maybe I said, let me go to, backwards and let me show you, some of the themes which come from Ashwini Nakshatra actually come from this root. Okay, there is a root. Now, there is a popular sacrificial ceremony which was done by the ancient kings. It was called as Ashwamedha Yagna. Have you heard of it?
No.
No? Okay. If I can tell you in Ramayana, okay, did you see the Love and Kush who stop a horse?
Oh, yeah, in the actual series I've seen.
Yeah. So that is the horse of the Yagna, which is the spiritual sacrifice of the horse. Okay. So that was the horse, which was a Ashwamedha Yagna, which was done by Sri Ram after his return from, after slaying Ravana, and he comes back to Ayodhya. He has been asked to do this Ashwamedha Yagna.
Okay.
By their guru, which is Vasishtha Rishi. And Rama's father, who was Dasharatha, okay, he also had to do a similar Ashwamedha Yagna. If you remember, Dasharatha is the father of Ram, Sri Ram, and Dasharatha had performed 2 yagnas, okay, with the help of a sage called Sage Rishyashringa, okay, and it was advised by their Kul Guru. Kul Guru is the spiritual guru or the spiritual teacher of the lineage. It's Vasishtha Rishi. So Vasishtha Rishi's advice and Sage Rishyashringa, they do 2 yagnas, that is Dasharatha. One is called as Ashwamedha, and another one is called as Putra Kameshti. Putra Kameshti means because he was desiring to have male child. Right? Now, Dasharatha and Kaushalya, which is, Kaushalya was also the mother of Sri Ram, they also had a daughter. This is, not many people know about this. They have a daughter first before they have Sri Ram. Okay? And her name was Shanta. And she was married to this sage, Rishyashringa. Rishyashringa's wife. Shanta was Rishyashringa's wife.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why I'm saying this story is, what is the significance of Ashwamedha? Now, what you have to understand is the ritual of Ashwamedha is they let go of a horse, okay? And the horse keeps traveling for 365 days. That is the symbol of the sun. Sun goes around, it takes 365 days for the sun to go around, for the earth to go around the sun. It's 365 days for the earth to. So the horse is left for 365 days, okay? And anybody who challenges the horse is like you're challenging the authority of the emperor or the king, okay? And so you have to fight me. You have to fight me out. So that was the significance of Ashwamedha. But it also has another meaning, that it says that whenever the Ashwamedha, whenever the sun came back into Aries, that is when the Ashwamedha Yagna was performed. So that is after 365 days, when the sun comes back into Aries and enters, that is when this horse sacrifice was done.
Okay? Sacrificing a horse.
Yes. Yeah. Now this is again, I want to tell your viewers, whenever you read about these things in the Vedas, you don't have to take it literally. Why I'm saying is, there has been a lot of interpolations which have happened. Okay, but you have to understand the literal meaning. What is the meaning behind it? Right? Now, what does the sun stands for? The sun stands for royalty. Okay. Now, if you look at the symbol of how sun god is depicted, he's shown with 7 horses, isn't it? He's riding on the 7 horses. As per the Vedic mythology, you see sun riding on 7 horses. Now, what is a horse? A horse is only symbolic, okay, of the sun. A horse is a symbol of the sun. So horse is a symbol of mobility. Horse is the symbol of valor. Horse is a symbol of strength. And horse is also the sign of power, right? Status, vitality, and speed, right? So your Ashwa of Ashwini is saying that it's a horse. Okay, Ashwa means a horse. Now, Ashwa is a symbol of muscle power. Okay, and that is why you see, even the metric which is used to understand the power is always called as horsepower.
Yeah, that's right.
It?
Yeah.
Right? So horsepower is a unit of measurement of power.
Yeah.
Why not it is goat power? Why not it is camel power? Why not it is elephant power? Elephant is much more powerful, isn't it? But when you come to speed, you always talk in speed in terms of horsepower. And that's why you see Scottish engineer James Watt, when he came up with the steam engine, he always compared the steam engine's ability to run at what speed with the power of the draft horses. That is what it is. The output of the steam engine was compared to the power of the horses. And that is why the measurement was horsepower. Okay. Now, what you have to understand is, I'm going so much in depth because you have to understand about the horses and this sacrifice. Then you will understand Ashwini Nakshatra. Okay. So what is Ashwa? Ashwa, as I said, is the muscle power, right? The speed at which you can run. And Ashwamedha. Medha actually signifies the supreme intelligence and the wisdom. It is the mental strength. Okay, one is the physical strength, another is the mental strength, and their combination makes a great sacred deed, or that is what is called as Yagna. Okay, so unless you understand what is Ashwamedha, you go to Atharva Veda, which is one of the 4 Vedas, and it is called also the book of spells. Okay, and white magic as well. There's so many things about black magic and white magic written in the Atharva Veda. Yeah. But if you understand the deeper meaning, why they say sacrifice, there are rituals which say this is really a horse which is sacrificed when the sun enters Aries. And that is why the symbol of Ashwini Nakshatra is the horse's head. Okay, so what does a horse's head signify? It signifies 2 things. One, as I said, it's the muscle power. And the second thing is the supreme intelligence and wisdom which is there. And this is the strength, okay? The illumined thinking power, the dedicated, selfless endeavors that people put into the daily effort that they make to meet, and that is the Yagna, right? A Yagna is nothing but it's a spiritual thing inside. Okay? It's inside your body, it's inside your mind. It is a sacrifice that you're doing. Now, yagnas, people have misunderstood yagnas. Today, everybody says it's a remedy. Let us do a yagna. Let us do a homa. Let us do a fire sacrifice. But unless you understand what a yagna is, you won't understand what you're going to achieve with it. Now, if you understand that the rishis were nothing but Vedic scientists. They came up with very scientific tools that could achieve the desired effect at the physical level, environmental level, ecological level and the spiritual level. So all of this, it's not only spiritual. Doing a yagna is not only about spirituality. Okay, it is bringing these transformations in the physical, environmental, ecological, and the spiritual. So at all planes, right? So a yagna essentially used to play a role, important role in inner refinement and self-purification. But people think it is an external deed that you do. You have a kunda or a fire altar where you sit and you just keep putting ghee and say some mantras. That is only the external things. You have to understand, what goes into the yagna. It is some special herbs, some special, wood that goes, right? And what is it doing? What is it doing? What is the yagna? If you understand, Kapil, if you see a forest fire, okay, if you see a forest fire, and after the forest fire, if you see the forest just comes up so very quickly, you can never plant trees and grow the entire forest again. It's impossible.
Yeah.
But the trees just sprout back after the forest fire. Okay, within a couple of weeks or months, you see the forest is rejuvenated. So what is this phenomenon? If you go esoteric level, you understand that whenever a tree is dying, and this is not what I'm saying, you can go and research about them on Google.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever a tree is dying, what it does, it has a tendency to pass on its prana, its life force, into something, okay, which is very in its vicinity or within a radius of 1 or 2 kilometers. That prana has to be transferred, right? And it looks for a similar element which it can go and transfer that prana to, or that energy to, the life force to. So whenever there are small sprouts of the same tree which is just about to come, the prana goes into that, the seeds.
Okay.
And then again, so it is the same phenomenon that you do when you do a yagna. Is you're putting in special herbs, you're putting in special trees or branches of the trees, small trees. And what it does is, suppose you are lacking in a certain element in your body. Let us say your Mars is very weak. Okay, so there is a tree called as Kuchala. Okay, it is also called as Khadira. Khadira is the name of the tree. So the woods and the branches of this tree are used in the yagna. So what it does is it recognizes there is a deficiency.
Okay, and it transfers
It transfers the wood when it is burning. It is transferring that energy, and it is trying to bring it into equilibrium. It is trying to balance that element. So people have not understood this concept, and that is why there is a lot of superstitious beliefs attached to it, because they don't understand the entire mechanism, the process. What is happening here now? So the tree is when it is burning, it is transferring that. So that energy, the smoke, the environment, the particles, everything is energetically, energized with this Mars component, and your body needs Mars. So suppose you are deficient in calcium, taking calcium supplements will replenish the calcium. It's very simple.
Yeah.
That is the same phenomenon. So, but what people have not understood is that this is yagna. Now, what is a mahayagna? A mahayagna is done to purify social life. Okay, and then there is Rashtra Yagnas. What is Rashtra Yagna? National yagnas or sacrifices which are done, or rituals which are done. That is to bring about a change in the environment, and that is what Ashwamedha Yagna was. A Ashwamedha Yagna was a national, ceremony. Okay, it was able to awaken the dormant genius of the masses. That is what Ashwamedha Yagna was. So it is awakening the people's consciousness. Okay, because Sri Ram, when he returned from Lanka, the people were, although they were jubilant, but they had, for many years, they have missed a king to rule them, because as soon as he leaves to exile, his father dies. So they have been kingless. They have not got somebody who can guide them. So that kingdom wanted a Ashwamedha Yagna to awaken this dormant genius.
Okay.
Okay, so this is what Ashwini Nakshatra is all about. It is about bringing back to health, infusing that vitality, bringing your consciousness, elevating your consciousness. And that is why the symbology is the head. Everything is in the head, right? This part of the body controls the entire system. So it is like the king, the head, is controlling all the masses, which is all your body parts. The head is controlling all your body parts. It's giving its instructions. That is the king. And he is creating a sacrifice. Right?
It's funny how it occurs in Aries, which is head.
Head, again. So if you understand, everything is connected to the head. Okay, the Aries is connected to the head. Okay, Mars is there. Now, look at the beauty of the thing. Sun, I told horse is nothing but a symbol of the sun. Now, sun gets exalted here at 10 degrees in Aries, which is again Ashwini Nakshatra.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you look at 3 planets, which is Sun, Mars, and Ketu, all find their directional strength, which is called as Digbala, in the Karma Bhava. It is the 10th house, where they get the full directional strength. Right? Again, you look here, Ashwini Nakshatra, as per Vimshottari Dasha system, the ruler is Ketu. Now, Aries, the ruler is Mars. Sun gets exalted at 10 degrees. So the energies of this is giving you full directional strength. And that is the horse. A horse is always, why the horse is covered? Do you know that?
So it just looks at straight.
Yeah, I just straight. It otherwise it gets, it can get,
diverted.
You're diverted, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the word. It can get diverted. So the horses are always tied, and they always are to show you the direction. And that is what the directional strength is to move ahead. And that is why this nakshatra, Ashwini, is called as the star of transport. Today, you can see what do most of the government is against sun. What do they do these days? How is the battleground or the field is? What do you send? You send unmanned aerial vehicles.
Yeah.
Okay. Ashwini Kumars were supposed to be traveling on their golden chariots aerially. Right? So these drones, these unmanned aerial vehicles, they are, if the enemy is going to shoot down your drones, then you are challenging my juggernaut. That is my Ashwamedha. That is my horse, which is going into your territory, and I'm keeping an eye on you. Right? This is again the significance. You are challenging me. I want to fight you now. You're challenging my unmanned aerial vehicles, my drones.
Mm-hmm.
I'm superior. I'm the king. I'm the emperor. How dare you? Okay. So this is again, you see, the significance of. See, even whenever you say yagnas also, what is a yagna? I say a yagna actually creates a psychosomatic change. Look at that word somatic. Somatic comes from the word soma. Soma is nobody but Chandra.
Yeah.
Okay. Psychosomatic. Again, it is related to the mind. So the yagna is not only to achieve your desires of saying, oh, I want to do this, and there is also bringing in inner awakening. Okay. So now another theme that I want to tell you very clearly about when you talk about Ashwini Nakshatra, as per Vimshottari Dasha, Ashwini is ruled by Ketu.
Yeah.
Correct? Now, what is Ketu? One, you have to understand Ketu is Dhwaja. You know what is Dhwaja? It's a flag.
Flag, yeah.
Right? You go and plant a flag whenever you are victorious. I remember once you said the marching army is the Mars and the victorious army is Ketu.
Battled army is the, yeah.
It's the Ketu. So you scale the mountains, you go to on the peak of Himalaya, Mount Everest. What do? You put your country's flag there. You say, I've been here, my country has been here. Again, it is showing you that the source and the origin associated with your past life karmas, bringing it to completion. That is what Ketu is about. Remember, all people who are born in Ketu ruled nakshatras, as per Vimshottari Dasha, okay, they have this tendency or this urgency to come and quickly do their past life karmas, trying to bring to completion some of their past life karmas. Why? Is because Ashwini, in all Ketu ruled nakshatras like Magha, like Moola, all of these are very, very fresh on their awareness level about their past life karmas. And that is why Ashwini becomes the first nakshatra and it's Ketu ruled. Similarly, you go to Magha in the next cycle, that becomes every 9, nakshatras, it's a new cycle. So again, you go to Magha, it's about ancestors. So it is about your freshness of your awareness. Ketu is about freshness. Ketu is about you're fresh and you are in an urgency to go and complete. So
does it only occur when moon is in Ketu nakshatra, or can any planet being in these nakshatra comes about?
Moon becomes much more significant, I would say that. Whenever moon is there in any Ketu ruled nakshatras, very, very, very significant karmas. Now, this is what an astrologer from the Middle East, when I was discussing with him, he is also an authority in nakshatras. When I was discussing with him, he gave me this connection because the Arabs were quite, they're far superior in terms of understanding and we call it nakshatras, they call it manzil. Okay, the manzil is a constellation, manzil.
Yeah.
So he told me that what he has observed and what his interpretation is, all people who are born in Ketu ruled, when I say all people born, it could, largely I'm talking about moon, but you can also take ascendant as well because that's a physical body. So moon, whenever it born in Ketu ruled nakshatra, he says these people were not ready to come onto the earth plane. They were forced by their karmas to come in. Okay, they were not prepared. Okay, so you can see that what happens with these people is when they're very young in terms of their faculties to deal with, they're very young in terms of understanding and knowing the implications of these karmic patterns that they have to quickly address. They have not been given too much of time. It is like you are a person who's been sitting as the 12th man. In cricket, they say 12th man. I don't know. You are a substitute. Okay. And then when need comes, you have been sent to just go and do your work. It's like you do not have time to warm up. You do not have time to do anything. You just have to go and start doing it. Right? That is what is Ashwini Nakshatra all about.
But I mean, how can you, let's say if you have a client sitting in front of you and they have, let's say, Moon in Ashwini Nakshatra or Magha Nakshatra, I mean, in practicality, how can we tell the client, someone who's sitting, that, okay, well, you're here to complete your past life karmas immediately. But what do you mean by that? How can you tell me? So what would be the significant point to see how they are fulfilling that karma, so you can make them realize that, look, this is what's happening?
Mm-hmm. See, what happens, Kapiel, is whenever you have Ketu-ruled nakshatras and they're prominent in your chart, these people connect back very quickly with their past. Okay? So you have certain, whichever house Ketu is sitting in, immaterial. Okay? It shows, as everybody knows, I think this is, I'm just reiterating, you have mastered the energies of that house or that Rashi in some lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that is why this time you do not pay much attention to that house. Although that is your comfort zone. So what you see is whenever you see Ketu ruled people, they would be very good into certain things. That is their strength. And they keep doing that. But eventually what you have to tell them is they have to realize very quickly what their karmic patterns are, and based on the life, see, life keeps giving you opportunities to go and address your karmas as quickly as possible. So what you see with this Ketu, and especially I'm seeing this with Ashwini Nakshatra, they are in a hurry. Okay, they are in a hurry. Always you see they want to reach to a place very quickly.
The impulsiveness. So
you can see that in their work life. How can you say that Moon in Ashwini, and you can say you have come here to go and clear your karmas, is you see their life. whenever they drive a car, they might, love to, they're thrilled with speed.
Well,
okay?
that's what race car drivers are seen from Ashwani Nakshatra too.
Ashwini Nakshatra, exactly. Yeah. Because that is what they want. They know the goal post, because Ketu is Dwaja, it's the goal post. Okay, and they know where they have to reach, and they want to get there as quickly as possible. Yeah. But in the bargain, your life, see, every planet which is sitting in a nakshatra is going through cycles. Okay, and what are these cycles? The cycles are, you have to understand the gunas, the three guna concept. For example, Ashwini Nakshatra is called as Rajas at the primary level, Rajas at the secondary level, and Rajas at the tertiary level. So at all levels, the planet is in equilibrium. It is not changing state. Right? So it is all Rajasic qualities.
Because Rajas is about movement, doing the
movement,
action. Yeah.
Action, exactly. Wanting to do. So it is the most Rajasic nakshatra in the entire zodiac, Ashwini. Right? So what is it good for? Now, I've been telling more about what the qualities of Ashwini are, but you have to understand what it means. See, these people have, that is why you call them, they're great healers. Why? Healing is about reaching to the spot and doing surgical operations in that part of the area where it is diseased. That is what the healers are all about. They try to take the energies from the nature and try to pass on that energies to that part of the body where it is ailing or it needs healing. And that is what all about Ashwini. Ashwini is about healers. Why? Because they want to quickly get you back to the state of equilibrium, get you back to the state where you feel wellness. Because it is Rajasic, it is action, it is an active nakshatra. Right? Yeah. So this is where the Ketu's ability to understanding how to heal, because they have learned about healing before. If you have moon in Ashwini, it is not that they're learning healing here. Right. They are natural healers. They are natural tendency to quickly come up with solution to problems. Okay, so imagine you put an Ashwini Nakshatra person. Okay, although you say that Ashwini could be at a level, it could be very passive. It is passive, but you have to probe them. And you probe them, so you have a group discussion happening about 5 people. Imagine that one of them is Ashwini, one of them is Pushya, one of them is Ragashira, okay, with moons. So how each of them are going to interact with in a group discussion? The Ashwini Nakshatra, always I've seen, they would be the first to come up with a resolution. They have it in their mind, but they are passive, which means unless you're probing them, they are not proactively coming and sharing their wisdom or their intelligence. As I said, Ashwamedha, Meda is intelligence, supreme intelligence. Mm-hmm. They're extremely intelligent. They're extremely calculative. They're mathematical, right? They could be excellent astrologers as well, because astrology needs a lot of interpretations, but astrology also needs a skill to be level, to be, as I've seen videos that you've done with Raj, and Raj always says middle. Get to the middle, balance yourself. That is what an astrologer needs to be. An astrologer needs to be balanced. He needs to understand the science of healing. He needs to understand the science of planets. He needs to understand astronomy. He needs to know Ayurveda. He needs to know psychology. You cannot have an astrologer today. As I've, just before we went live, I said, what is happening today? People say, I have read, a few books and today I'm an astrologer. Everybody. Yeah. Wannabes. I can go and read about the heart, everything about the heart. I can read about 100 books on the heart over the next 2 months, but that still doesn't make me a cardiologist. Remember that. Unless I am going to go and practice it and test it, and I might fail many a times. That is astrology. People do not understand that making predictions and trying to be correct every time is about astrology. It's a yagna that you're doing. It's a sacrifice that you're doing. It's an inner awakening that you're doing. That is Jyotish. Do not go, into Jyotish thinking that I'm going to change everything in my life. I'm going to know everything about what is going to happen tomorrow. No, that is not the purpose of Jyotish. Jyotish is inner awakening. It is. That is why you need a guru. Why? Because guru comes. He doesn't come and tell you anything. He just comes and lights a lamp, inner lamp.
Yeah.
so that you can see your darkness. And that is why Scorpio, the dark house, why it is called house of occult. It is darkness. It is the most hidden part. Okay, everybody has the ability to go and tap in, and that is why whenever you have to study astrology, I say you need to know psychology. You have to know how the brain works. If you do not know how the mind works of a person, you are psychologically impacting the person, whether through your knowledge or unknowingly. And that is why you as an astrologer have a responsibility. And that is why I do not claim myself to be an astrologer. I cannot do astrology. I'm only there, I'm studying it, I'm trying to understand, and I'm sharing that knowledge with you.
Right.
So anyway, that's because so many people come and say, oh, I have this combination, what does it infer? Right? It's very difficult to explain to them that it is not something that is it can be easily interpreted unless you have seen hundreds of charts, 500 charts with the same sample combination that you're looking at. And then you have to know what are the riders. After doing 500 charts, you will get one chart with the same combination and you will fail miserably on it.
Yeah,
there is some rider or there is something which is going to change the results.
Like I was just posted an article today about information technology and softwares. Like my most occurring combination that I'm seeing in my consultations. But I actually have had people with the exact same combination. They're not in IT, they're not in software, they're in accounting. And I'm like, okay, how did that happen? Or they're not even in none of those places. They're in like food and beverage business. It tricks you. It takes you straight and then boom, gives you a curve right there.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah. So I remember a post from you where you said astrology is a curveball, and you don't know when that curveball is going to come. So you have to be exactly. So that's where we are only trying to interpret. We are not trying to say that this is it, because we can never, because it will definitely give you one chart after 500 charts where you will miserably fail. And then you start going back to your, to your blackboard and trying to rethink on what is happening here. And that is the journey of astrology. Is to understanding things, unlearning things, and learning new things. And that is why when we talk about Ashwini Nakshatra, okay, the reason of Ashwini, why I talk so very passionately about Ashwini is the first Nakshatra. Okay, and Ash. The word Ash means to reach, to gain, to master, to penetrate, to enjoy. If you're doing Jyotish and you're not enjoying it, then it's better not do it.
Exactly.
If you're doing Jyotish with the intention of knowing about all the negativities of this planet, what negative things are going to happen to you, then you better leave Jyotish. Jyotish is about divine light. It is about divine path. It has to show you the way in the darkness. It is not to go and find out about longevity, about your death, when your accidents will happen.
Scare people.
It will happen, and it will happen, as per destiny. You are not going to change. It is only Jyotish can tell you it is going to rain tomorrow, so you be better prepared, take an umbrella with you. That is the only thing. And you can only reinforce and bring at the psychological level, you can bring them into a state of equilibrium so that they would be able to achieve their karmas in a better way. So as a Jyotishi, you have a responsibility to ensure that your people are able to achieve their karmas, whatever they are born for. Okay, in as smooth possible way, because you have ups and downs. Don't you think Jyotishis have their problems? And don't you think if Jyotishis knew everything, why are they not billionaires today?
Exactly.
Why are they not billionaires? If you can predict the stock markets, you can predict everything what is happening around you.
Yeah.
Why are they not multimillionaires?
Exactly.
So because the way Jyotish definitely works is a science behind, but we are misinterpreting it and making it only a predictive science. That is the problem. Everybody wants to find a resolution and they blame their karmas and they stop doing their actions. Do not stop your actions. If you stop actions, I would have not become a PhD today. I'm telling this to everybody. I've at least got 3 occasions in my lifetime when I wanted to give up doing a PhD. It was my mentor, it was my guide, who was Irish. Okay, he told me, Arjun, if you give up today, I can let you go off. And he was so very calm and composed. He said, I can and let you go off. And you would go off and you would be, and next time whenever you get any problems in life, you'll always take the easier route of giving up. Do not make this a habit. It is easy, to give up in life. It is hard to stand there and fight back and to go ahead, because for maybe 6-7 months, I had no results on my research that I was doing. But it was the perseverance, it is the patience that you require, and similar things you require in Jyotish. It is not about giving up after 5 charts, saying that it doesn't work on the 5 charts. The 6th chart, 7th chart, and then the next 10 charts, it might work perfectly.
Yeah.
Right? So it was this mentor of mine who actually, and because of which today I am a doctorate. Okay, it is these lessons. So you need people who can really push you forward in life. And if not for such people who come into your life, you would, and that is what I want to see with the mature senior astrologers today, wanting to take people ahead in their journey. Everybody has problems. Anyway, so let's get back to Ashwini. So why I was saying this is what the purpose of Ashwini is. It's a Lagu and a Shipra. Lagu means it's light, and Shipra, which means quick. So it's a significance. It's saying that it is light. So your karmas are very light, okay, because they are very fresh on your awareness level. You want to quickly address those. You want to quickly achieve your objective. So in that bargain, what you see is a typical Ashwini native is always in a rush, mad rush in life. Whether doing activities, whether even if you're talking about, say, how do you study nakshatras? Now, I've told you the secret is it's a Shipra, and Shipra means quick, swift, and Lagu means light. Okay? So now imagine if you have a sexual planet sitting in Ashwini Nakshatra, or if you have a lord of a sexual house, like, 12th lord, bed pleasures, 8th lord, scandals, sexual scandals. If they're sitting here, you can say how their sex activities is going to be. They are going to be in a rush.
They're quick.
They're quick, man. They're very quick. So you do better. So you understand how, so if you have your 4th lord there, so 4th lord also signifies vehicles. So you might be driving your vehicles very quickly because you want to reach from point A to point B as soon as possible. So you understand what your inherent traits are through the nakshatras and the Shakti. The Shakti of this nakshatra is called as Shidra Vyapani Shakti. Shidra Vyapani Shakti means the power to quickly reach things or to quickly attain one's objective.
I see.
Right? Shidra Vyapani. Quickly reach his objective. And that is why you find that these Ashwini natives are great beginners with new projects, but they will never see the end of that project because they're not great finishers. They jolt for it at the sign, but whenever it comes to finishing, I would say Bharani Nakshatra peoples are great people to finish things, to bring it to logical conclusion. Because these people are in a haste to complete things, but they don't do it with fineness. There is lack of fineness in the Ashwini Nakshatra because their objective is to complete, to reach and do something very quickly. But in that haste, so what do you see? What are the people who are, which needs both precision, skill, dexterity of the hands, and also speed? Which are those people? The people who have really mastered Ashwini Nakshatra are the people in the emergency unit of a hospital, okay, in the ICU, or people who are in the ambulance service. Why? Because ambulances want to reach to the spot where it is required to, quick attention is required. Yeah. But you cannot be sloppy on a surgeon's table, isn't it? You want in an emergency what you need precision as well. So this is the actual real powerful Ashwinis who are operating there. Why? Because they're using their intelligence and they're using their muscle power, they're using their speed, their agility to quickly go and heal things. Accident wards.
Yeah.
People come with accidents. You really need to address those and heal them very quickly, because otherwise you're going to lose them. Okay, so this is about Ashwini. Now look at what Ashwini Kumars are. Ashwini Kumars were youthful. Okay, they are ever youthful. So what you associate them with? You associate them with rejuvenation, healing. They're called, there is a Brahma Vidya. Brahma Vidya is the knowledge of Brahma. It's called as Kaya Kalpa. Kaya Kalpa means complete rejuvenation of the body, is where you cleanse all your, the 5 elements of your body. It's called Kaya Kalpa. It's called detoxification, where your cells again become kind of light. Okay, when I say light, see, understand what immortality is about. People have taught about immortality as being the physical body being there forever. It is not about that. Immortality is a process where you cleanse each of your cell particles and convert them into light particles. That is immortality. Where your physical body, every cell, every particle of your body, every molecule is changing into light.
Like they're achieving like light body status as gurus do.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That is immortality. It's light body. It's your body is a light. Okay. And you do not have a physical form. Your soul and everything is converted into light. That is immortality. Okay. And this youthful people come with a knowledge called as Madhu Vidya. Madhu Vidya means, it's called Madhura Sayan. Madhura Sayan means sweet. The knowledge of knowing the sweet things. And that is a mythology which is very commonly said. If you have known about Ashwini, people always talk about Chavana Rishi. Okay, Chavana Rishi was a old Rishi. Okay, and the Ashwini Kumars gave back his youth and his vitality back to him. And that secret of how the vitality was given to him is today in Ayurveda is called as Chavan Prash.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Chavana Rishi, okay, he understood, and there was another Rishi called Dadyach Atharvan. Okay, there is a Rishi called Dadyan or Dadichi. Now the Ashwini Kumars learned this Madhu Vidya, the science of rasayans. Rasayans means making Ayurvedic compositions from herbs.
Mm-hmm.
He learned it from Rishi Dadachi. And Rishi Dadachi learned this Vidya from Indra. Okay, but he was given a curse. Rishi Dadachi was given a curse by Indra, saying that if you ever leak the secret of Madhu Vidya to anybody, your head will be chopped off. Okay. Now the Ashwini Kumars, they are mortals. Okay, they are born from the union of Surya Bhagwan and Sanjana, their mother, and they were born in because of the union of Surya Bhagwan and Sanjana in the form of horses, and that is why they are mortals. And one more thing, what I wanted to say is, mythology speaks about how these people were born. Okay, they are twins. Ashwini Kumars are twins, Dasra and Nasatya. They were born from the nostril of their mother. Okay, so this part, your nose and your breath, your prana, again is an association with Ashwini Nakshatra. So people with Ashwini Nakshatra can go into pranayama, breath techniques, yogic postures, understanding about the breath and prana. And that is why when you have a lot of prana within you, that is when you can transfer the prana to somebody else. And that is why the healing abilities come. So watching your breath and making the breath as slow as possible. When you breathe very fast, Ashwini natives have the ability to breathe very fast. Why? Because it is a quick and speed, because you're always on the run. You see an Ashwini native walking also, if he has his 12th Lord, 10th Lord, or 11th Lord, because 10th, 12th, 11th are all associated with the legs, feet. You see how an Ashwini native will walk. When you see he's walking, it looks as if he's running. right? Because they are in that. So this is the tendency. So you have to slow down. When you run too much, you're panting for breath.
Yeah. What
Right?
about then these yogas that Baba Ramdev does, the Alom Valom and Kapal Bharti, where you have to like take really fast breaths? Is that helpful for you, or because you're
It is.
taxing your body in a way?
Whenever you take these quick breaths very quickly, okay, inside. So what happens is, you see, I would let all your viewers go and do this. Okay, start taking quick breaths very quickly and putting additional pressure, and then just close your eyes and look at your breath. Your breath almost slows down, maybe 50% of your normal breath. It slows down your thing because you're taking too much of oxygen. The brain says, "Oh man, hold on. I've got enough oxygen. You don't have to pump more oxygen into me. Take it easy, relax." So basically what you're doing is reverse engineering. You're trying to put pressure on yourself, and then you see suddenly there is calm and there's peace. You reach a state of equilibrium. Your breath becomes slower. This is immortality. Immortality is about slowing your breath to a point where you can stop your breath. You don't need prana anymore. So that is what yoga is all about. Yoga is not about those asanas that you do. Yoga is not about those breaths that you do. Yoga has other things also. Yoga also has yama and niyama, which means there are certain duties of dharma that you have to follow. People do not understand that. People think yoga is only bending backwards, bending forwards, and doing these asanas. Yes, from a physical perspective, these asanas will help you. But yoga is about all-rounded success of the individual. It's not only about physical. It's mental. It's also bringing that change in you, being a sadhak, bringing a change, a transformation. No yoga it's useless unless you understand every aspect of yoga. It's not only the asanas that you do. Because only that form of yoga has become popular in the West.
Yeah.
Because from a health perspective, but people have not understood the spiritual side, the ecological side, the environmental effects that it will have by doing yoga. Because you're calming the particles, the molecules around you as well. The same effect of what mantra science has. Chanting of Gayatri mantra, chanting of Mrityunjaya mantra. It creates the environment of peace. All the particles settle down. All particles become peaceful. All the vibrations, the excess vibrations around you all start, stabilizing. That is what
mantras. So is it better to do mantras and chanting out loud or in your mind?
You start with doing the mantras slightly loud, and then as you go, you slow down the pace and you just start chanting the mantras. Because once the mantras go inside your head, in Agni Puran, it is said that if you chant it with your, which can be heard, then the benefit is X. Now, if you chant it only with your lip movement, without the voice coming out, the sound coming out, then he says it becomes 5 times the benefit. And if you stop even the lip movement, and if you can say chant the mantras only in your mind, he says it's 100 times in Agni Puran. 100 times the effect. What I want to say is, it's very difficult for you to start commencing unless you have mastered to start commencing chanting right in your mind. So what I would say is, recommend is start with a low voice, start reducing the intensity of the voice, make it only the lip movement, and then you close your lips, and then the same mantra should be recited in your mind. You can chant mantras even when you're sleeping. This is the most effective way of training your body, because what people do not understand is, Kapiel, and this is what I've used. This is a secret I'm giving away. I've told my course participants the secret. See, you live a very busy life. You say, I do not have time for study. I do not have time for research. But what I found out, and if you go and understand how the mind works, your mind is the most active when you're asleep. So I started, training myself in my sleep. Okay, so I started giving, listening to audios, and this is not, I'm doing it today. I'm doing it for years now. You would be surprised to know my research thesis was done in my dreams, because every time I got a dream Okay, for months I wouldn't have got the result, and suddenly, bam, at 3 o'clock in the morning, you would see me getting up like a nerdy, eccentric scientist running to my lab to do that experiment at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, because you sleep with a problem statement and solutions keep coming in your dreams.
Okay.
Right? So, yeah. So most of the problems what you have in your life, you can find resolutions whenever you're sleeping. So the same thing with the mantras. So if you want them to bear, you keep chanting the mantras in your mind, and you just fall asleep. And the mantras keep repeating. And similarly, if you start listening when you're asleep in a slow volume, you are in a state of mind where you are able to absorb more data when you are asleep, because all your body parts are rested, completely rested. Your mind is active.
So you should listen to like a lecture with a headphone while you're in the bed.
Yeah. I also went to the extent of buying. There are pillows that you get with inbuilt speakers, so you can have your So you have these pillows. Yes, you can go. I think you can find them anywhere on Amazon. Okay, pillows with inbuilt speakers, and you can just go and plug in your iPod. Okay, to that, and keep listening to whatever you want to listen to, chants you want to listen to, any thing. And remember this, Kapil. Whatever you listen in a dreamful state, it goes straight into your subconscious mind. Although in a conscious state, you might say that I do not know this, but somewhere it has already been registered. That information is there. So that way you can read books.
So how do you, so that's what I actually realized too, that everything that I read, so let's say I was trying to read the Bhiratarashtra Horashastra, okay? So I try to read this on a, like a, what do you call that? Like a very quick skimming, like reading. That's how I do it quickly. But then I'm realizing, okay, yes, I'm reading, but I'm not getting it. But I know somehow, some way, it's registering whatever I'm seeing, registering subconsciously. But then my question is, if I want to use that information that is stored in subconscious, how do I bring it out?
Yeah.
How do I make that activated, switch that on?
Yeah. See, what happens is all that is sitting there. Okay, it is sitting there. So the exercise that I do on a daily basis is, as soon as you get up in the morning, you again skim through it. Now, these are powerful learning techniques that I learned years ago when I was a student. Right? It's about as many number of times you see that information, it keeps refreshing your files.
Okay.
Refresh. So this is a fantastic technique. You said it's about glancing. It's called the glancing technique. So I used to make flashcards. Now, nakshatras, how do I study nakshatras? I make flashcards, write about them, and before I go to sleep, I look at the flashcard. I just glance it. I might not even understand what it is. Okay, just glance it. So you might need five 5-second techniques. These are, so imagine in the morning as you get up, you again flash it in front of you for 5-10 seconds. You look at that information, and during the day, keep flashing it for 5-10 seconds. Now, I cannot see anybody who says I do not have 10 seconds in my life, right? But if you give them a book, they might say I do not have the time to read the book because I do not have time, right?
Yeah.
These 5-10-second techniques that you keep flashing so that it brings out that knowledge that you're learning in the night. It brings it out.
Okay.
Because it's somewhere it is fetching into your repository from your subconscious mind, tracking it down and trying to link that what you're seeing. So your mind and your eyes are seeing that and they're linking it. And that is when that comes from the dormant state of the subconscious into the conscious state.
I see.
Okay, so this is a brilliant technique of flashcards and using these glance techniques. So you might be reading a book, you make short notes. Every page you might have these keywords. What I tend to do, and this is what I train my course participants as well. Whenever they do the coursework, I say them, you have to summarize my lecture into keywords, put them as keywords. And there are a couple of them, and many of them who have done this. You look at a glance of this lecture of maybe 2 hours, You can look at it with just 50 words or 50 words, you can see, and you can immediately recollect what was said in that lecture.
Wow. Okay.
Keywords, that is called a mnemonics, that you're trying to understand. Jyotish is about using your mind, your brain power, everything. You have to use all these techniques. These are the techniques which are given to us by the rishis. People have only said that go and read classics. Now take a classic, read a shloka, and what you do, you just interpret,
I mean, yeah, okay, so here's another thing. Like, I have so many books, classics. Like, even just in that Prashna Hora Shastra, there's like 600 to 700 different slokas. Easily,
correct.
And so I'm like, okay, so that means I have to know all the 600 slokas. How in the world can I do that? So,
see, Kapiel, let me tell you, firstly, the brain science today has proved that it is far, far, far more brilliant at what we know about the brain. The brain can process tremendous amount of information that you can even believe. You think that those 700 slokas, those are nothing for the brain. That's cakewalk.
wow.
But it is important how you train your brain. See, if you want to build a body, you go to the gymnasium. You don't work on every part of the body every day. You might say, I go and work on the triceps today, I work on the biceps tomorrow, I'm working on the shoulders, I'm working on the legs. So every day you train one part of the body, and then you build the entire body. You're not going to go and start pumping iron and building every part of the body every day. That is not about the rich. So you need, first of all, everybody who wants to be a student first needs to start a regime, just like you would want to do in going to a gymnasium. So keep a regime where you say, I want to study. And the first thing, the regime is, if you want to start with Jyotish, start knowing about your own Lagna, your first point. Know for the next 30 days, for example, if you have the patience, go and read about the Rashi and that house, Lagna. It is about you. It is about you and you and you only.
Mm-hmm.
Ramana Maharshi, when he went to his guru said, first understand, who you are. So he was given the mantra to saying, who am I? That was the mantra he kept repeating. Mm-hmm. Who am I? 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 Understand who are you first. Then you can understand the planets, you can understand the houses, you can understand nakshatras. First you have to understand who you are. Wow. You make yourself the center point for awakening of knowing what is exterior. So dhyana, meditation, sadhana is all about understanding who you are. And understanding your lagna itself is enough for the entire chart. Spend the next 45 days on knowing only about your lagna. Read every classic, every book, every shloka. Because that is the obsession you should have in your life. Know who you are. Forget about what is going to happen in your life. Who you are, what you have to do. What is the purpose? You might take months, you might take years to coming to grips or realization, but it's okay. Yeah. Because that is the purpose. So understanding your lagna is the first important thing. Or you can also learn about your Janma Rashi, where your moon is placed. Understand everything for the next 30 days. You cannot care less about the techniques. You will have hundreds of techniques you would find, but ultimately you have to only master one technique, is that where your moon Rashi is, that technique of understanding what it is, what is moon doing sitting there. Why have I been given Margashira moon? Or why I have been given Ardra moon? Why I have been given Ashwini moon? In this lifetime, understand. Connect. Then you will realize, then it will open many doors for you in Jyotish. You will understand Jyotish like nobody else will. But if you think that you would come to a YouTube channel, listen to a video like this, you would go and read 10 books of some brilliant people. Yes, but still awakening, that is Kilaka. What is Kilaka? In mantra science, there is a thing called as Kilak. You know what is Kilak? Kilak means it's the master key. Every mantra has a rishi, and the rishi has a master key. No mantra will open out without first keeping the Rishi on your crown chakra. Rishi is the guide. He is the discoverer of that mantra. For example, Gayatri mantra, it is Rishi Vishwamitra, Maharishi. This is also called as a Brahma Rishi, Vishwamitra. Without having Vishwamitra there and praying to him and saying, please guide me, give me the secrets of the Gayatri. Okay, open the doors for me. Let me have the master key. No, you can go read about Gayatri mantra on channels from websites. You still do not have the master key.
No, very true.
Usually the master key is, you get the benefits. Don't get me wrong. Mantras give you benefits, but at a different plane, not at every plane that you want it to affect in your life. What are you as a sadhak? What do you want that mantra to do to you? And who is the Rishi who is guiding, or who is the discoverer? He will actually tune your body to that mantra. Tune.
So same thing goes with even like Jyotish, putting a Rishi Parashara on your crown.
Yeah, exactly. Put him on the crown and tell him, plead him, request him, pray him, praise him, saying, so you're so great. You're such a great Rishi. I'm just a humble, noble man who just wants to understand the science. Please help me. And similarly, you can do it with Lord Ganesh, because Lord Ganesh is Ketu. It's Mooladhara Chakra, the root. Open up that door for me, please God. Rishi Parashar, please open up that doors for me so that I can go and understand what it is. But unless you do that, you will never learn in the next 7 lifetimes.
Yeah.
Because it's like the tuning fork. What is the tuning fork, Kapil? When you hit the tuning fork, the frequency has to match with another object. Then it will start vibrating with the same frequency.
Yeah.
Right? So you take a vibrating tuning fork near another tuning fork which has the same qualities and the same thing, then you can see, even with a distance, that tuning fork is going to pass on that vibration to the other tuning fork, and the other tuning fork starts vibrating.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same thing, awakening and tuning your frequency for Jyotish. Opening up your Jyotish Nadi. Jyotish Nadi, when Jyotish Nadi is open, you do not need any books. You do not need anything to understand this planet.
Yeah, that's something I wanted to ask you. Like, so Jyotish Nadi awakening happens through the process that you're telling us.
Yes, absolutely.
And they said there's actually a Nadi of Jyotish within us.
Exactly. That is a pulse of Jyotish Nadi, which is running. Everybody has that.
Yeah.
Like everybody has a healing Nadi running in them. It is about knowing how to become a healer, or becoming, able to heal. Is that by opening that healing Nadi in you? Ayurvedic Nadi. Everybody, see, the potential of the brain is enormous. Everybody has the potential. God has never made us weak in any aspect. It is for us to realize. And depending on the crutches of Jyotish and saying, I'm not good at it, it is your fault.
Yeah.
Okay? It is your fault. Don't make astrology your crutches. Make them your awakening tool, a spiritual tool, which has been given by the scientists. Don't look at a Rishi as somebody who can change your life with a sloka. Understanding a sloka doesn't mean that you are going to change anything. Understanding him is you're tuning your frequencies with him.
Yeah.
And that is when many of the unsaid, unreturned rules will come, and he will teach you those. Many slokas have no backward or forward. You don't understand. Every sloka is different. There is no connection between what is said.
Yeah.
Take a sentence and take the next sentence. You say, oh,
completely ridiculous. Polar opposite. Yeah.
Yeah. So there is no connection. There is no continuity. That is because the Rishi wants you to understand and tune your focus to his frequency. Do that. He will give you the master key.
Wow. Amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So unless you understand, people will go and watch another 1,000 videos, will go read everything everywhere. But this is the secret, I'm telling you. These secrets of training yourself with the brain power that you have. Enormous power.
You'll have 1,000 people putting you on the crown chakra tomorrow.
You don't put me, you put
your butt's gonna be like, what's happening, man?
I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere. You know, everybody's crown chakra. Anyway,
Yeah.
go back. I know I always.
Forget it. I'm going to put Dr. Pi on my crown chakra. Let's do this.
So let's get back. You know, I know we digress very much with these topics. Let's get back. Okay, let's talk to Rasayana. You know, I'm talking about Ashwini. Rasayana means Rasayana is a Ayurvedic formulation which gives you strength and Shakti, which is power. Okay, and that is actually rejuvenating your dhatus. Dhatus are those elements in your body. They are rejuvenating them. Right? And Ashwini Kumars were supposed to have these, as per Rig Veda. You go and read Rig Veda, you will show you Ashwini Kumars were able to restore sight of the blind.
Yes, I read that, yeah.
Okay, so what does it mean? There is a literal meaning and there is also an esoteric meaning. Esoteric meaning is Ashwini people can sometimes be blinded by certain things in their life, you know, materialism and everything. They're blinded. So you need an Ashwini Kumar or the youthful one to come and open your eyes and start looking around for things. Don't be like the horse, which is, you know, got a focus, which is only about, my master has told me this is it, this is it. Right? He also had the ability, it is said in Rig Veda, the Ashwini Kumars had the ability to make the crippled people walk again. So again, it is bringing somewhere to the legs. The leg region is where his domain is. You know, the Ashwini Nakshatra rules the bottom of the feet and the knees. Okay, so that is why you see the sun gets Digbala, Mars gets Digbala, and the 10th house of Karma Bhava, that is your knee. 10th house is your knees. That is where you want. So
Upachaya house.
Upachaya house,
yeah,
exactly.
Like you were described it.
Right. If you want progress in your life, if you want significance, Ketu gives you significance. Remember that. Ketu gives you significance. It gives you the quality of a flag. What is a flag? Even the armies and the head of the state, they salute the flag, the national flag. Okay. Do you mean to say that if I salute the national flag, that becomes idol worship? Many people say, oh, you Indians are into idol worship. So my country's flag, I'm so proud of my country, I salute my flag. Is that idol worship then? No, you are actually showing respect to Ketu, your ancestors, your country, what your countrymen have done for you. That is the respect you're paying. It is not idol worship. Similarly, Indians and Hindus, when you say an idol is there in worshipping, you have to understand the essence. You don't have to say that we are worshipping idols. It is the essence what you are worshipping. It is what is behind the scenes. Okay? No countryman would tolerate somebody is insulting your national flag. What is a flag? It is only a piece of cloth.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you get so agitated when somebody shows disrespect? Because again, it's your Ketu element within you. Ketu, remember, has 3 qualities. And that is given to you by the 3 nakshatras it rules. The first is Ashwini Nakshatra. It is Shipara and fast and quick. Again, it wants to reach its objectives very quickly. Magha Nakshatra. Okay? Magha Nakshatra is called Ugra, which means it's fierce. It's fierce qualities. That if it is agitated, it can go and destroy a complete army. A one-man army, a Ketu army is enough to destroy everybody. And then the 3rd nakshatra which it rules is Mula Nakshatra. Mula Nakshatra is called as Tikshna Nakshatra, Daruna Nakshatra, tragic. It is dreadful. So all these qualities are Ketus. So if you understand Ketu's energies, you will keep away tragic, dreadfulness, all these negative things. So
that's why you worship Ganesha, for prosperity and all the negative.
Exactly. Of removing the obstacles, making it tragic free, making your life, that is what it is. Right? Now, Chavanprash, again, let's go back to Chavanprash. Amongst all the rasayanas, or the formulas which are given in Ayurveda, Chavanprash is supposed to be one of the most supreme because it is after Chavan Rishi. So what is Chavanprash? I said it is Madhu Vidya. Madhu Vidya is a mixture. First understand what are the components of Chavanprash. It is sugar, it's honey, it is ghee, it's Indian gooseberry, which is called as amla. Okay, it's a jam which is made of that. Sesame oil, berries, herbs, and various spices like sandalwood, cinnamon, cardamom, and all of these. So all of these in the ancient Ayurvedic text, like Charaka Samhita, there is a mention in Charaka Samhita, which is an Ayurvedic treatise. It's written about in the first millennium. It's in roughly around that. It talks about Chavanprash, this portion. Now Chavanprash in today's times is what which gives you vitality. And now the Ashwini Kumars were known to have the vidya of immortality, which is soma, making soma. Somras is the auxiliary of life, the portion of immortality. Okay, they learned this vidya from Rishi Dadichi, making soma, and the soma juice was had by all the devas, the demigods. They had the right to have the soma and to make themselves immortal. Right? The Ashwini Kumars were not given this right because they were said, you're mortals. Why they were not given this right? You're mortals and you're always living amongst the mortals, going and healing them, curing them, being on the earth plane, going and helping somebody who's blind, helping somebody who's crippled to get back on their feet, people who are deaf. Again, hearing is again an association with Ashwini Nakshatra. Now let me tell you a secret of Ashwini Nakshatra. Now Ashwini Nakshatra people are supposed to be, what do you call that? Clairaudient. You know what is clairaudient, Kapil?
No.
Have you heard of clairvoyance?
Clairvoyance, okay, yeah.
What is clairvoyance?
Clairvoyance is the ability to
travel, yeah.
Travel,
see,
yeah.
Exactly. Clairvoyance is what you can get to see in the future. Yeah. You can travel time back and forth, and you are clairvoyant. Now, clairaudience or is ability to hear what is unheard. Okay, the vibrations. For example, clairaudient are the dogs are called as clairaudient because they can hear the frequencies which a human ear cannot hear. They can sense they have this ability to sense metaphysical environment around you, in terms of auras. The dogs can see that. And when you see that in a house where you have dogs and pets, sometimes in the middle of the night, they start going berserk, they start barking.
Yeah, like, oh, this guy sometimes, or my other golden guy in the middle of the night, they're... And me and my wife are like, what the hell? What's in this room?
And sometimes there are two things. One is whenever they are dreaming, okay, the dogs make this noise when in their sleep.
And then they become horses,
Horses. Yeah. They start in the dream because they're doing something.
They're chasing the steak.
Yeah, exactly. So that is one thing. And another thing is when they are active, they are able to sense the ability to understand the environment around them. When I say is able to sense the spirits around, good spirits, bad spirits, all of this. The dogs have this ability. You can read about it.
I'm gonna throw water on you in the middle of the night. Yeah, man, I'm like hearing all these dogs sometimes, like they're like they're up alert and they're looking at the door and they're like.
Exactly. Yeah. So there is something there at the door, and you say, "What the crazy? Why are they looking at the door and barking?" There is something which they are seeing that we cannot see. They're hearing something. It could see for all that it could.
Thanks for telling me that 11 p.m. in the evening. Yeah. I don't know how much my room now.
Kapil, what I'm trying to say is, for all that it could just be a rat at the other side of the door. Because they can hear the fuzzling of the rats. We overemphasize. Sometimes we think, oh, you must be looking at the spirit. It might not be that. It could be something they are hearing, but we cannot hear, but they can hear.
How do you tell, though, the difference if the dog is seeing spirit versus any indication on that?
Sometimes, see, the dogs are never fearful about living objects, okay? So this is, again, I might be wrong, okay, that's fine. But what I've seen with the dogs is, whenever the dogs bark and they are, retrieving backwards, they're moving 2 steps backwards. That means there is something which is approaching them and they're unable to understand, because it is not a physical form which is coming.
This is probably like a cloud just coming.
Yes, cloud. It's like a cloud which is coming. They're not able to understand.
Yeah.
They're going to sense that, and they're barking. At the same time, they're slightly moving backwards.
They show that in the movie a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. But imagine a dog, if it's sensing that there's a rat or some living object which is there, it will always try to approach forward. It will move forwards. Yeah. It will try to bark, and it will start moving forwards, not backwards. Backwards is when it's spooked, when it doesn't understand. See, all these animals, especially dogs, cows, cats, all these are very, very, perceptive animals. Their cognitive abilities are far greater than humans.
Mm-hmm.
And that is why you see when in India, or rather, if you remember, many years ago, there was a tsunami which happened in Southeast Asia, India, Indonesia, remember? So if you, and I had been to an island which is very close to India, which is called as Andaman and Nicobar. So I've been there, and the guide of that, it's an island, the guide of that island said the animals and the birds were so advanced that they knew that the tsunami was approaching them, and they had all gone on the mountain side. And the tsunami came and hit on the mountain, okay, and went past. And these animals, they crossed over to the other side of the mountain, okay, intelligently, because they knew that the tsunami wave is going to come back. It's going to retrieve and hit back on this side of the mountain again.
Okay.
The tsunamis come, they hit, and they again go back, because it's a wave which comes. You go to the beach side, the wave comes and the wave retrieves. That is the same phenomenon. And the animals, intelligently, they crossed over to the other side. And once that wave went off, then they came back onto land. So these people are very perceptive. They understand nature. They read nature. They understand what is going to come. Even half an hour, 45 minutes before the tsunami hit, these people knew it.
So there's this psychic ability that is connected with Ashwani. Yeah.
Ashwani, yes, absolutely. It's about hearing things. Okay. Often it is said that either you see Ashwini natives have somebody who looks very similar to them if they are not twins. If you're not born as Ashwini as twins, then you might have somebody who's a friend or relative or a cousin, brother, or somebody who looks quite similar to you. So Ashwini moon people, you might have a close friend who looks very similar to you. Or they might be getting impulses from the other side with a twin who would be giving you instructions or understanding most of the phenomenon which is going to come or forthcoming.
Wow.
They have this ability.
So the fifth lord, if it's an Ashwani Nakshatra, it can signify having twins or something.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Or if the ninth lord, then your father might have twins, or your father might have an uncle who are twins, or your father might have an uncle or a brother. Sorry, your father might have a brother who might be look-alike like your father. Imagine your son is an Ashwini Nakshatra, your ninth lord is an Ashwini Nakshatra. Look for qualities of this in your father. He might be, very impulsive in his activities. He might be in a rush always, Look for qualities of your relatives as well. Fifth lord is your children as well. If you have Ashwini Nakshatra, you have moon in Ashwini Nakshatra, maybe your mother could be very impulsive. Now you have to understand, now this is a beautiful thing, what I wanted to say, is whenever you talk about healing, you always go and think that healing is all about people who come and sit beside you, give you pranic healing, or somebody like a doctor. Remember, that is only on one part. Okay? Imagine you have your moon in Ashwini, or your fourth lord in Ashwini, and somebody comes and says, oh, my mother is not a healer. Is that wrong then? Then you have to go and understand that your mother is a healer, absolutely a healer. If you feel that whenever you go to your home and you eat your mother's food, you feel
healed, yeah.
Healed. The way she keeps the home, how she decorates the home, as soon as you go home, you feel the vibrations of being healed or being wellness. That is your Ashwini. That is your mother doing it. She is not a doctor. She is not an Ayurvedic expert. Okay, she might have plans, because Ashwini Kumars were the first people who grew Ayurvedic herbs. Okay, so These people are interested into gardening.
Yeah.
Wanting to keep plants around them, wanting to get the energy, the prana of the plants. You put, at home you want to put potted plants.
No, just in my own observation, people who go into like Ayurveda, holistic healing, even medical doctor, the two of the most common nakshatras I've seen in my lifetime is Ashwani and Sastabisha nakshatra.
Absolutely.
Over and over again. Just today I did a consultation of somebody who was trying to go into medical school. Saturn is in Ashwani nakshatra. Rahu is in Sastabisha nakshatra. I'm like, go for it.
Go for it.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, he's born in 1998, so they're like 20 years old, and I want to go to medicine. I don't want to be in like tech. I'm like, that's right. You are to be in medicine.
Right.
So I definitely see that.
Yeah. And one more thing, Kapil. I think I'm conscious of the time. I think we've gone too much for what we have, because it started. We just before I wrap up, I wanted to say, remember, Shatabisha Nakshatra is again 100 healers, but there is a secret there. If you do not find a cure, if you're Satabisha, definitely go to a doctor who has Ashwini Nakshatra. He will definitely heal you. So the theory, what I want to say is, Shatabisha Nakshatra people tend to go to 100 physicians. They go around looking for cure.
Yeah.
They'll never find cure. And then look at what planet is sitting there. For example, I'm just giving, it's a very generalistic statement.
Yeah.
You say your Mars is there in Shatabisha Nakshatra. Okay, imagine. So listen to your sibling, your younger sibling, or your brother. If your brother or your younger sibling or somebody is saying that, oh, I have heard that there is this doctor in this part of the town who's supposed to be excellent physician. Take his advice. Go there, and you most probably would find the cure for your Shatabisha Nakshatra ailment with that person. And that person might probably, or the chances are that 7 to 6 times out of 10, he might have Ashwini Nakshatra somewhere. It might be the Yagna in the Rashi chart or the Shamsha chart. He might have some association or some planet in Ashwini, because that is where you'll find your cure. So listen, Shatabisha Nakshatra people, listen more closely to the relative who's going to come and give you the hint where you can go and find. You say, I've been to 10 doctors, I've never got healed.
Yeah.
I have not been diagnosed, because Shatabisha Nakshatra is a Rahu ruled nakshatra. It is difficult for you to diagnose the disease.
But yes, what if, like, let's say the actual healer is sitting in there, like Ketu sitting in Satabishak? Then
yeah, it can see Ketu sitting there. It can give you separative tendencies from life, because you want to. Ketu doesn't care about ailments. It just wants to break free from everything. Break free from ailments. Break free from attachments in life.
Right. No, but who is the, like you said, Mars is the brother.
Okay. Ketu, then
Ketu is the dog. I should.
Yeah. It is not maybe the dog. You might have to look at Ketu from somebody who is a saint, a sannyasi, a guru, because Ketu is ruled by all the sannyasis, the gurus, the saints, the hermit. So maybe you go to...
That is so crazy. Yeah, that is, wow. Okay.
Because when your guru says, oh, I think you need healing, but you need to go to the right doctor. Okay, go here. Ketu will direct you that way. So Rahu might be a foreigner who might, advise you. Foreigner,
or your grandparents or something.
Grandparents. Yeah, Ketu could also be grandparents. Remember that.
Yeah.
Rahu and Ketu, both Rahu represents your maternal grandfather, paternal grandfather and maternal grandmother. And Ketu represents the opposite. So it's your grandmother who could advise you, go there. Moon could be your mother. So these are only broader themes that I'm talking about, Kapil, but you need to understand that Jyotish is not about only understanding, oh, if this planet is sitting there, and then you go and read 10 classics and say, this is what is interpreted.
Mm-hmm.
If you can be logical enough, you will understand Jyotish very easily. If you're not going to use any logic, you're not going to use common sense, then you would spend another 25 years still researching and still be lost.
Exactly.
And like most people, I am also the same. You give me a chart to read, I cannot read. Honestly, it's a blank thing for me. I cannot understand anything. But if I have to do it without any pressure and sit with the chart and understand and try to dissect the chart, then my mind starts working, because I am not under any, um,
Pressure
compulsion,
to give something
pressure.
right away. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is what happens with Jyotishi, because once you become a Jyotishi, you are under pressure to say something. Look at the chart. In 10 seconds, you have to say something. Otherwise, oh, he's a
Yeah.
useless guy. He doesn't know Jyotish. Why is that? Yeah, you might want to take your time to ingest,
Exactly.
understand. That is fine. Okay, doesn't make you that your 10-second astrologer is going to be the best. It is ridiculous to say that I have to make prediction in 10 seconds. That means you're putting compulsion on yourself. You rather not do it, man. It is not making you do, and you won't be doing justice, because of course, because you have this intuitive power built up. Yes, you might, your whatever comes
That
from
is
your
so
mouth.
funny. I mean, I was actually having my last lunch or breakfast with Joni, Dennis, and this one other lady. I forgot her name. She's a healer. And they were just discussing about their charts and this and that. And it's just like, all I do is like, I used BCP on there. She was just talking about her Venus in the 8th house in Pisces exalted. And I just asked her, so tell me, did you have a relationship at the age of 20 and 32?
Yeah.
You know, or even like, what is it, 43, 42? It's like, yes, yes, yes. And then I just tried out the other thing. I'm like, did you go to foreign lands at the age of 36? Did you graduate from somewhere at the age of 33? And all of it was just like that. I did the same thing with Dennis Harness too. I'm like, did you have a child at the age of 29? And then and he's like, yeah, you know my chart. I'm like, no, I don't know your chart. It's just that it's the intuitive power with BCP working.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can run with people on the streets. Like, people when running Sedona, I was being recognized, you know, and they're like, wow, I wish you could see my chart. I'm like, do you know your planetary placement? Yeah. And what's your question? You're not getting married. And then I'm like, where's your Venus? So I told them, did you have a relationship here? They're like, yeah, that's right. I'm like, well, just wait 3 years. You'll have a relationship again there. And that's it. That's it, man.
Absolutely. It's very simple, actually.
It's so simple and beautiful. You're just...
Beautiful. Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I don't even need a planetary placement, but she was just saying one planetary placement. I gave like 4 different predictions on just that one thing. And then I looked. Yeah.
Kapiel, that comes from practice.
Practice.
You cannot be a Sachin Tendulkar of cricket. In India, Sachin Tendulkar is like a demigod, you know, in cricket.
Yeah.
So his perfection of a square cut is so precise. The way he cuts, he punishes the ball when it falls in the wrong spot. He punishes it so beautifully because he's practiced it 10,000 times. And
that's right. I've been doing this BCP for the past 1.5 years, ever since I knew about it. And only recently, maybe I would say after looking at 1,000 charts, now I can like look at it. And before it was like mistakes, then this, then mistake.
Right.
But then once you start getting it, it's like that, the vibration rhythm you were talking about.
Yes.
It just comes into place. So now even like I'm up to a point where I don't even use Vimshotri Dashas anymore.
Exactly.
I'm like looking at Nakshatras and this, and it just comes to me like synchronizing all together at once. Exactly. I don't know how to explain it to you, but it's like my brain now synchronizes the event. Like, okay, this is supposed to happen here. I just confirm it with looking at Vimshotri or even what a Yogini Dasha. But mainly it's just the brain sees. I see it now. I see a chart, and if I see Ketu on this house and this thing, I just knew, okay, synchronizing it, this happened, and bam, bam, bam. So
that is the same technique I think S.K. Mehta used. You know, he used to remember photographic memory. So you do it hundreds of times on different charts. That is what. So if you want to be a Jyotish, then you have to practice it. You have to practice. You cannot be like me. You know, I just do it as a hobby, and that's why I do not call myself a Jyotish, because I do not want to predict. I cannot read charts, but that's okay. I have greater abilities somewhere else where I can go and understand the inner layers. That is what drives me, and that is what I want to come and share those small nuggets with people, and people can go and research further. But if you want to be a Jyotish and you're serious about it, then you have to practice, man. You have to
I'm
practice.
telling you, it was so funny. I got to tell you one more. Like, this one other lady was working in one of these crystal shops in Sedona, recognized me, and she's like, yeah, you know, I had a divorce a while back and this and that. It's just not good. I'm like, where's your Venus place? She's like, Venus is in the 6th house, debilitated. And then I just, out of nowhere, I just said, did you get a divorce at the age of 30? She's like, yes. Because, you know, 30th year is the 6th house. Venus is debilitated. It's like, yes. And so it's just from quickly your brain just looks at it, it knows it. I don't know. I could be wrong too sometimes. That maybe it didn't happen. You know, maybe nothing happened related to that. Maybe you got sick, had some sugar or kidney problem. But I don't know what it is. It just synchronizes it, and you just see it now. You see how, and that's why it's just beautiful. Like, the more simpler the astrology is,
it becomes
that's
so
what I feel
Trust
astrology is.
Yes, it is actually very, very, very simple. It's very simple.
Absolutely simple, man.
And if you understand Venus, for example, okay, how many of you would have observed that Venus is the only planet which gets exalted first from its Mula Trikona sign, and then it gets debilitated. All other planets you go and see, they first reach their debilitation and then they go into exaltation. I'm talking about if you take, say, a planet. Now, what is the?
I see what you're saying. The debilitation sign comes first, then the exalted comes.
Then the exaltation side comes.
That's right.
So understand how the planet is behaving from this phenomenon. What I'm trying to say. So the Mula Trikona sign of Venus is Libra, correct? And it gets exalted when you go around in the cycle. The first house which comes where it's exalted is Pisces, where it gets exalted. And then its debilitation is 12th house from itself, which is from Libra.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only planet. The rest, all planets, you look at it, they first go and go into debilitation when they go into cycle, and then they go into exaltation.
Yeah.
Right? So all the Rahu Ketu, they move backwards. But you look at Venus. Remember, the mythology of Venus is Shukracharya made a penance hanging downwards and taking smoke. Okay, there was smoke there, which was a fire, and he was dangling upwards, downwards with his head below, and he was taking the fumes of that. And if you look at how the rotation of Venus, it is always the opposite. Now, if this is the axis of rotation, Venus is moving in this direction.
Mm-hmm.
All other planets are moving like this. If this is the axis, then it is moving in clockwise direction. It is anti-clockwise. Okay, the fingers are pointing the direction in which the planet is moving, and this is the axis. So Venus is the only planet, and of course there is an outer planet which also is tilted. I think I can't recollect it either. It's Neptune, I think, most probably.
Uranus is actually tilted, like in a very weird way. Yeah,
no, Uranus is it's diagonal. It's like this. It is rotating, this way.
Oh, okay.
But I think, again, I need to go and brush up my astronomy as well. See, remember, astrology is not only astrology. You have to know mathematics, calculations. Today, you can get away with mathematics because you have these tools, which is software, so you can use. You need not be. But before, Jyotish means you should be excellent in mathematics. Otherwise, you cannot do Jyotish because you have to do all these calculations.
Exactly.
Secondly, you need to know about astronomy. You need to know about why the planet is said to be, rotating, and look at mythology. Mythology is all giving you hints.
Yeah.
But not to you about, and then that is where, when he was hanging like that and he was praying to Lord Shiva comes and gives him the Mrit Sanjeevani Vidya, which is to revive the dead.
Mm-hmm.
That is the knowledge which was given to him.
That's what legacy is seen from Venus.
Yes.
An aspect of like Saturn on Venus, and
absolutely
ability to leave legacy and be remembered after you're gone. So
after you're gone,
it's like the phoenix. The word is that the bird, the phoenix goes from the dead,
from the ashes,
from Venus, from ashes.
Right, absolutely, ashes. So anyway, I think we've gone really long with this.
No, that's cool.
Go on and on, but
Yeah.
I think usually your videos have to be very short for people. Attention span is very short. But our discussion can go on, and then I don't think people would have time to look at a 1.5 hour video. It is ridiculous.
No, they usually do. They usually do. Yours video, they always watch it. But you also, are you doing any courses on nakshatras, classes that people, if they want to join?
Kapil, I'm not doing any classes now, but what I've started now is a series. Because people have said, I want to know about nakshatras, I want you to teach us. I said, okay, let me get you on the path of learning.
Yeah.
Learning is first understand yourself, is by understanding your observations. This is how you learn Jyotish. So what I've started a series is called as Moon Transit Awareness Exercises. So every day, for the past 10 days, on 13, 15 days, for a fortnight, I've been adding videos every day on my channel, YouTube channel. I've also got up a Facebook page as well, okay? Because there's so many people who keep writing to me, oh, tell me about this. So I want people to come and learn Jyotish the right way, okay? So I'm sharing this knowledge. This is how the ancients learned, is by observing things around you. You can teach yourself Jyotish than anybody can.
Yeah.
By being more perceptive. And I have seen people come and say, oh, but I've not been seeing anything of those. Yes, it will take a few cycles, lunar cycles, a couple of months for you to get attuned, because you have to tune your frequency. Like the Rishi said, tune your frequencies.
What's your YouTube channel called? It's Dr. Arjun Pai, right?
Yeah, it's Dr. Arjun Pai. So you can go to my YouTube channel, you can subscribe my channel. The videos I'm doing that. I've been doing some videos for even Navaratri. There is, every goddess is a Shakti, and she has some significance. And it is a yogic sadhana. Why is Navaratri very special for people and all over the world? Navaratri is the time when you are being activating. There is no better time for people who are aspirants who want to activate the Kundalini. It's Navaratri, man. There is no other better, because you start. Yesterday was Shailaputri. She is the daughter of the mountain. Shailaputri.
I thought it was Shivratri where you could activate the Kundalini, not Navratri.
See, Navratri is the 9 nights of the Devis or the Shaktis.
Yeah.
So you start. Yesterday was seeding your yogic sadhana, as starting your sadhana. Yesterday was the first day, and it is through Shailaputri, Mata Shailaputri, goddess Shailaputri, and you are seeding your Mooladhara chakra yesterday, because she represents the Mooladhara. So all your yogic discipline, your spiritual journeys start in, that is called as Urja. Urja is that inspiration. And in India, you see, people will go without food for the next 9 days. Nothing happens to them. The energy levels are so high on the earthly plane.
Yeah.
Now, the next 9 days, you can live without food. Thousands of people practice this without food, just water. Can you imagine? And the energy levels are ever so high. You think that, okay, I am not having food, I'll go. No, the first 2 days is difficult. Then people start doing this. This is a practice which has been happening. Okay, it doesn't starve you. It only energizes you, because those elements are there. So I've been doing a few videos on that as well.
Okay.
Maybe teaching, I don't know. I do not find the time. I'm not very organized. I'm not very structured. Okay. I work as per my whims and fancies, which is not ideal for being a teacher. So that is why maybe someday when I get more structured, I have to let my Saturn, get more structured, get more organized. That's when maybe I would take up teaching.
Perfect.
But
for now, subscribe to his channel. So yeah, thank you so much, man. I love it. Great knowledge. And I think we have covered so many nakshatra. I think we have already covered Bharani. So we'll figure out what to do next in 2-3 weeks.
Brilliant.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Pai.
Thanks.
Bye.